Stevens situation when you mentioned
No.
ethics reform?
No.
Are you disappointed in Senator Stevens?
Well, there are only allegations at this stage, and people are innocent until shown to be guilty. And I think we give people the benefit of the doubt. But I have looked over the last several years in Washington, and the number of allegations as well as convictions of individuals who have breached the public trust while serving government. And I'm talking not just about elected officials, but also government employees. In my view, those people who abuse the public trust, who are serving in government, should be stripped, by virtue of committing a felony, should be stripped of their federal pension. There's no particular individual I'm considering. This is a widespread effort. I would note that this is a provision which existed in my state, and I think has a deterrent effect on people who are even considering an abuse of their public position, the public trust.
Are you disappointed in the ethical tenor of this administration?
I am disappointed in the ethical tenor of Washington. Washington has been highly disappointing over these last many years, whether it's in Congress or the Senate or the administration, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Of course, I'm most disappointed in my own. I expect more of the people in my own party. We speak about high ethical standards, and we should be an example of those high ethical standards. People who serve in Washington are models for our kids, and we expect them to abide by the highest ethical standards, and some of them have not. And I think we need to make it very clear that that's unacceptable.
Senator Obama this week came out with this package of ethics proposals, including a ban on revolving doors, leaving the administration lobby. Are you considering putting together a similar type of ethics package?
You know, the answer is I will be looking at a number of things that you can do to improve our ethical conduct. One of the elements of it is what I've just described this morning, which is stripping individuals who violate the public trust, commission of a felony, as a government employee or appointed or elected official, and removing from them their pension. There will be others, and I'll note that in my own state, that when I came into office, there were a number of things I put forward, and I'm considering doing some of those at the federal level in my own proposal.
Governor, a rival campaign is accusing your campaign of paying consultants under the guise of GOTV, but actually they're accusing you of paying supporters, from anywhere from $500 to $10,000 a month. Do you have any comments or knowledge about that?
Well, we have our staff. We have a campaign staff that works here in Iowa under the direction of Gentry Collins. We have several different categories of employees. Some are full-time employees and consultants. Well, some are full-time employees, receive compensation for that. I think we have 20 or so of that category. Some are consultants and are paid a consulting fee. Some are individuals who receive a stipend for various, like a commission for various services they provide, and some are volunteer. Most of our staff is volunteer, or most of our team is volunteer, but it's a normal process. It's all budgeted, and it's all included in our financial reports, which come out once a quarter. And I guess we must be doing pretty well. If people are critical of our process, we've organized a process, hopefully learning from the lessons of people who've run in Ames and in straw polls before, and we hope to do very well. But there's nothing in our structure which I think is particularly unusual.
You spoke about the sanctuary cities. Is there any specific city that made you interested in this topic?
You continue to hear from time to time cities announce that they are a sanctuary city. I saw a list of sanctuary cities recently, which included a number of very large cities: Los Angeles, New York City, and so forth. A long list. And frankly, it just doesn't seem appropriate to me that the taxpayers of America are sending hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars to these cities, and they're saying they're not going to enforce the federal law with regards to immigration. And I think that just flies in the face of common sense and the rule of law. And I am not determined precisely, but I will before I make a formal proposal, but precisely which area I would link federal funding reductions to. But that's something which we'll consider. I think there has to be a recognition that we expect all of our citizens, and certainly all of our governmental entities, to be compliant with the law.
Governor, you were asked about whether or not you could beat Senator Clinton in a general election. One of the first things that you said was an example that you had beaten Shannon O'Brien in Massachusetts, a woman. I'm wondering, you raised that to show that you can beat a woman. Is there a different skill that's required when going up against a female candidate that you were trying to bring up there?
No, I mentioned both people I'd run against. One, I think I started off by mentioning Ted Kennedy, where I lost, and one I mentioned running against Shannon O'Brien, where I won. And so I've experienced winning and losing, and I've learned from the experience of winning and losing, and anticipate that I'll be successful if I'm able to match up against one of the Democratic contenders, whether that's Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or John Edwards. But are there differences between running as a man and a woman?
Running against a man.
Running against a man or a woman? I'd let the political pundits give you some assessments on that. You say what you believe, and they fire back. I remember when my mom was running. At that time, Senator Hart of Michigan was her opponent, and he used to bring her a rose before each debate, and he would not have done that if there were a man running against him.
Governor, back on the immigration issue, I've heard your explanation of your position on immigration several times, but at the end of it, we're always left with the idea that you would not allow illegal immigrants to get ahead of anyone else in the citizenship.
Right.
But how far would you go to allow?
Or permanent residency.
Okay, so how far would you go? What would you do specifically for the millions who are here illegally? Would they be allowed to register and remain here in any?
In my view, they would be able to get in line with others who wish to become permanent residents or citizens. And my view with regards to the specifics was outlined when I talked about the Senate version of the bill they brought forward. There was something known as a Z visa in that bill. And under that Z visa, all the illegal aliens here today would be able to stay permanently. Whether or not they became citizens, they were able to stay permanently. And I said it was that element of that bill, which was one of the measures I found unacceptable. And I suggested that if they were to have made that Z visa a temporary visa, that would have improved the bill a good deal. And that's one of the many kinds of things one could do to encourage and to require illegal aliens to get in line with everybody else. And so I think perhaps the greatest single problem in the bill was that permanent right to remain in the country on the part of illegal aliens.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Governor,